Hey, what's up, people? It's Chris Gonzalez here, and it's Tuesday again, which means another episode of Trade Talk Tuesdays. And in this episode, I'm going to be discussing Absolute Martian Manhunter, Volume 1, Martian Vision, and it's written by Deniz. The art and the colors is by Javier Rodríguez. The letterer is Hassan Otsmane El Howell. And and I'm going to read a small excerpt that's on the back. So FBI agent John Jones has a problem. His brain has been infected by an alien consciousness calling itself the Martian, and its perception of reality is utterly incomprehensible to the human psyche. Now he must navigate this new status quo, even as his hometown of Middleton descends into inexplicable chaos, and his day job demands more of him than ever before. So this is the fourth Absolute book in the Absolute line DC's going over. So first we had Absolute Batman, then Absolute Wonder Woman, and Superman, and now this is the fourth title to get a trade. So this book has been receiving critical acclaim. Fans seem to love it, and now I understand why. I had read the first issue when it first released, and then I've been waiting for the trade to come out to read the rest, and I can understand why it's so critically acclaimed, and fans continue to support this book. It's very complex, the artwork's very abstract and psychedelic, and the story by Deniz is very compelling. And I really enjoyed this read. I believe it's probably, after Absolute Batman, my second favorite. Like, Absolute Wonder Woman and this are like neck and neck with Absolute Martian Manhunter, just edging it slightly. But I'm really enjoying this. Deniz, the writer. I did my first episode of Tree Talk Tuesdays. You can take a look at that. I discussed his assorted crisis events over at Image, and he's just killing it right now. To me, Deniz is in my personal top 5 comic writers working right now. His, as I mentioned, assorted crisis events, the Ultimates over at Marvel. He's just been killing it at every opportunity. So, and I met him at New York Comic Con. Really great guy, very humble. So let's dive into this. Now, again, I've read the first issue, and issue 1, it kind of reminded me of Alan Moore's Swamp Thing run, just a little bit. It had some similarities. So again, FBI agent John Jones, he gets involved in an accident there was a bomber at a coffee shop, blew up the coffee shop. John Jones, he gets injured, and then all of a sudden the Martian pretty much, not possess isn't the right word, but he takes over John Jones' consciousness. So I don't know how it happens. Maybe we'll get further into that as the run goes along. But so John Jones, he's recovering from his accident. He's talking to his doctor, and then he just starts to see these bright colors, they look like smoke. So slowly but surely, the Martian is seeping into his mind, so he's not sure what's going on. And then John Jones, he has a wife named Bridget and a son named Tyler, and ever since the accident happened, they're having some issues. John Jones really he's a workaholic pretty much, and his wife feels that he's being really distant. And during this first issue, he's trying to get back to work. His bosses are telling him you should slow down, but John, he says he's fine, and he's still seeing these weird images, and he can't figure out to see he can't figure out what's going on, and there's a voice in his head, and it's getting louder and louder. And just the artwork by Javier Rodríguez, again, very abstract, a lot of emphasis on his colors, and I think the color work in this is just really great. The colors themselves, like, the colors are their own character in this book. So he starts to see images, the voice is getting louder and louder in his head, and he's just trying to figure out what's going on, and it's, again, the Martian. Martian looks like that. So definitely a totally different take on Martian Manhunter than the general audience is used to, compared to, you know, the version in the comics and as well as the Justice League animated show. That's how I got introduced to Martian Manhunter. So, but yeah, he goes to the doctor and they keep telling him everything's fine, but again, he keeps seeing these images and he thinks he's losing his mind. But again, look at this artwork. Look at how crazy this is. This book is like one of the most creative books that DC has produced in a long time, in my opinion, since I've been reading. But yeah, he's seeing all these colors surrounding. It's like he can, just like how Martian Manhunter in the main line, he's pretty much a telepathic. So John Jones, this smoke that comes out of these people is pretty much like buried into their thoughts. And just look at this. Look at this. And even though the artwork is so abstract and complex, it was not too hard to follow along. So I appreciated that. And I think, like, just like Assorted Crisis Events, I'll have to reread this just to get it's not that I didn't understand it, it's just I want to have a better understanding. But it's pretty easy to follow. So yeah, so John Jones, he's investigating into the bomber that blew up that coffee shop. Let's see. But yeah, and then he realizes that what he's seeing and what he's hearing in his head, it's not a hallucination. He's not tripping out. It's a Martian as invaded his conscious. And like, I thought it was cool they use the medium. So in this way, I'm not sure if I can show it. In the lights, you have to see it. Well, anyway, it was really cool. Like, if you pointed the issue up in the light, the back image shows through, showing that he's the Martian Manhunter. So that was issue 1. Again, really compelling. And then the main villain of this first arc is the White Martian. So the White Martian has invaded as well, and its objective is to wipe out everything on Earth. So the White Martian is using its powers to influence the citizens of Middleton and cause them to, act irrationally and aggressively. So again, John Jones, he's slowly coming to accept the fact that there's this entity living inside his head and that he's working more with him now. Yeah, just again, Javier Rodríguez. Again, I was first introduced to his work during Mark Waid's Daredevil run. He was the colorist on that run, and he did some fill-in work. Another great and humble dude. And yeah, so in the second issue, he's trying to talk to this shooter who has been targeting these random people in the town, and again, using his Martian vision, he's trying to, you know, peer into his thoughts and talk him down. The police show up and eventually they gun him down. But yeah, you can see with his Martian vision, he can veer into the thoughts and memories of the shooter. But the cops show up and eventually shoot the guy. But yeah, it's all because the White Martian again is influencing these people. And the story doesn't really get into how the Green Martian, the White Martian came to Earth and why they did so. But I'm really enjoying this. Again, while this is all happening, him and his wife are getting more distant. And John, he's just not talking to his wife. He's not telling her, like, hey, this is going on with me, and this is why I'm so focused on work. This is why I'm being so distant. He's just not talking to her, and she's not appreciating it. So, and this is the third issue. Yeah, we get into the third issue. And there's more. There's been some random murders. They're trying to figure out what's going on. And again, the White Martian is influencing these people to commit these crimes. And again, goes into John Jones' family life. And he's just trying to, manage his job, manage, this entity living inside of him, and manage his family life. And then, again, visualization of the White Martian affecting the town. So yeah, this white smoke above these people's heads, that means that they're being affected by the White Martian. And the one thing that I was confused on is, was the White Martian just one entity, or how could it affect all these people? But I don't know. But still, if you get further, I did like this one. There's like a heat wave. The White Martian is causing there to be a massive heat wave in Middleton. So it's causing people to get more irritable and commit violent crimes. And again, Bridget, John's wife, is still, very irritated with John. So again, very, very creative book. I'm really surprised with, I didn't even notice there's a Absolute Batman right here, like a toy. I did not even notice that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, again, I can't see anybody, like another artist or another writer, working on this book. And originally this book was only supposed to be 6 issues, but since the sales were so well and they extended it to 12, and spoilers, I talked to Javier at New York Comic Con, and he told me that they're having conversations that they might extend more than the 12 issues. So fingers crossed that they do. So yeah, so again, Bridget, she's really upset with John, and she wants to know that, hey, like, she can't take it anymore, can't take the lies, and she doesn't feel comfortable with him being in the house. And then at the end, there's a massive blackout. So the White Martian, again, during the blackout, is influencing these people to commit heinous crimes, like influencing this guy to put poison in these like Oreo cookies. And I do like that they're Chacos. That's a Easter egg for, I guess, the Martian Manhunter and the normal mainline comics likes to eat those. But the White Martian also influenced this woman to put glass into the burger she's cooking, and then influence this guy to kill this dog. And yeah, so they just go through this massive blackout that's happening, and then eventually, see, like I mentioned, the woman, she's crushing glass and putting it in these burgers. So John's just trying to, again, his son Tyler got the poisoned cookies. And then again, look at the coloring. I think the coloring in this book is such an integral part to the story that I feel like the colors in this book specifically really enhance the story Deniz Camp is trying to tell. And just bravo to Javier Rodríguez. Like, doesn't get enough credit. Then eventually, so this Dark Side. So again, the Absolute Universe was created with Darkseid's energy, essentially, and that's what the Martian is sensing. And so yeah, the final issue, they get into a fight with the White Martian, and the White Martian invades John's home to try to kill Bridget and his son Tyler, and they're by themselves trying to fend for themselves, and John is trying to get back to his home, and the White Martian is possessing all these people to stop him from getting home. But eventually John and Bridget, they work together to stop the White Martian, and John, with the Martian's help, fully utilizes the power to and it's crazy. And then this is how they fight. Look at that. Look at that. So the White Martian and the Green Martian fight while their avatars are fighting as well. So kind of similar to the episode in Moon Knight. That was it. That's pretty much it. So I can understand why this is such a critically acclaimed book. The artwork and the writing, just the creative team on this, they need to congratulate themselves, because I think they created something truly special with this book. I really do hope it goes over 12 issues. And again, I can't imagine anybody else working on this book other than Deniz Camp and Javier Rodríguez. But before we end the video, let's show some of the variant covers. Really cool variant covers, very psychedelic, just like this book. So if you're hesitant in getting into this book because of how complex the art is, don't. It's, again, the story is really, it's not too easy to follow along, but you can definitely do it. And these are some of the variant covers. Really great. Look at all those cool variant covers. And then some of the sketches by Javier of the Martian, the green one. So yeah, that is it. That was Absolute Martian Manhunter, Volume 1, Martian Vision. Highly recommend. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next volume. So that was it. I appreciate those who are watching this video. Like, share, comment if you've read Absolute Martian Manhunter, and if you had, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, so I'm not quite sure what the next trade I'm gonna go over for next week, but I guess you'll have to find out. So that's it. Anyway, thanks again. Peace out.